Greetings from Southern Yankee Homestead. This is your first time? Welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Well, back to Project Cheap Jeep. My sister got probably a whole 20 miles out of it before it broke down. We ended up having it towed back here Christmas night. She took it out to some friends, delivered some stuff, and on the way home, boom, no more clutch. So what I theorize happened is that after, was this February 10, 11, going on 12 years with the original clutch, the heat and cool cycle, the expansion and contraction, the never getting dried out for very long, the sitting, just a combination of everything from not using it, the adhesive that holds the pads on the clutch just gave way, and or the rivets rusted out and basically the pads exploded. Let me show you real quick what I'm talking about. All right, here we are under the vehicle. Let me turn those lights out of my eyes real quick. And what I'm talking about, right here is the bell housing adapter. Right here is the transmission. In between these two, there's little pieces of smuts coming out of here. I believe the clutch disc has exploded with a bang, literally. But the good news is, on our table here, we happen to have a brand new throwout bearing and a brand new center force clutch. This is a little bit different style clutch, but what I believe happened, if you look right here, these are the clutch pad materials, and they're glued on. I think the other side has a full friction plate. This one just happens to have this particular setup, if you've never seen one of these. So I believe these, basically, the adhesive gave way. It happens. I've had it happen once before. Yeah, my 85 Toyota, that happened. Ended up blowing the clutch out and actually drove home driving on the rivets. It happens, is what it is. But what we got to do is we got to pull the transmission, which is going to require partial disassembly of the interior, where we can pull the gear shifter out. Then we got to get underneath, pull the drive shafts. I believe the rear cross member, support the engine, and then we got to unclip everything that's clipped to it. Yay. So the big thing is, I don't know if my jack that I usually use to take out transmissions is going to reach. I know on my 85 Toyota I didn't have a jack, so what I ended up having to do was go through the holes in the floorboard and use the cherry picker to actually lower the transmission out. Basically the blue engine hoist that's over here in the background, right there. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do that with this. I don't think the opening is as big in this as it was in my Toyota. Not to mention, I don't know how heavy this transmission is. Only one way to find out. Put it there for now. Come on. Well, half of those were already broken. Alright, let's peel this up and see what we're dealing with. Alright, oh look, I found a pen. That was hiding in there well. Oh, that's great. Absolutely marvelous. That does not look like a stock shifter, I think. we go. That one's not going to come out. So, 8 of the bolts on the drive shaft are 5/8. 4 of the bolts on the drive shaft are 1/2. Holy this was on there. But the front drive shaft uses 4 15mm. So standard on everything. Except the drive shaft. And I'm sure there's a very valid reason for it. I'm not an engineer though. I'm just a poor sap that has to deal with their crap. Alright, it is confirmed. Clutch exploded. I'll show you how I found out here in a second. I did. Hope you can see it right there. On and under the light. Parts of the clutch pad came out with the starter. So at this point I've taken certain precautions. I've got a dust mask on. I've also got safety glasses and I'm wearing gloves. The reason I'm doing that is because asbestos is nasty. And if you don't think asbestos is used anymore, it is. It's used in a lot of different things. One of which is clutch pads. Now, I don't know if this was a ceramic one, but given that it was Chrysler, ceramics are more expensive. Probably not. Where is it? There we go. There we go. So I'm into the exhaust trying to get that separated, and what happens is the manifold has a piece that sits like this. So this goes around the upper manifold that goes to the head, and this square nut sits on top of it. Well, this chintzy piece of aluminum foil that they put on there doesn't work worth a hoot. So I had to pull the inner fender wells off so that I could get a 15mm around this square nut so that I could get it off. So the exhaust is off, and I'll have to figure out how I'm going to fix that later. Got no 2 sensor. If they eat food or not.
No, they do.
Woohoo! That's what I was afraid of.
You run out of lift?
Yeah, and that's with the transmission partially lowered down already. So a couple days have elapsed, and well, actually 2 days. Yesterday I went out and picked up this item. Ended up getting a transmission jack from Harbor Freight, just in case you missed part 1.5 of this project Jeep. So nothing left to do but slide her underneath and see if we can get that transmission out so that we can find out about the clutch. But
Moving it over.
yep, come down.
Come down, I.
Wheel on your side isn't even touching the ground.
Yeah. Thing's heavy. All right, looks like I'm all the way down.
All right. You want to pull back a little bit?
Yep. Pull the whole thing back.
No, you're not going to be able to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to shift it that way.
Shift it that way.
Yep. Okay.
Your hand's clear?
Yeah, my hand is clear now.
Okay.
It only got it slightly.
Okay.
I was afraid of that. I'll have to reposition before I go back in next.
Okay.
And a moment of truth. Yep. She exploded. You see the rivets here? Everything came off. It should look more like that. So, yeah. She's pretty well toast. Well, I just got done spraying down the flywheel and also sanding it, then respraying it down. And we've been letting it dry a little before I go ahead and torque it. And I looked outside. Yep. It is presently snowing its butt off. And yesterday it was 74 out. Yeah. Yesterday 74, today 34. Let's get back to the Jeep. Show. I got a sticker that actually says flywheel side. Oh, yeah, no, I got it correct. There we go. There we go. Put one screw in. Yeah, these weren't Loctited before either. Deal. Have to use an adapter to go down to a 10 millimeter, but we're going to 37 foot-pounds on this. All I'm going to do right now is just snug this up. under here. Let's see if I can find better light. Yeah. I didn't film a lot of it because, well, this part's kind of boring. But the transmission is back in. We're still on the jack, on the transmission jack. Transmission jack worked very well. Yeah, next step is to go ahead and start hitching things up. I've got 4 out of the 5 main bolts holding the transmission in, but I want to get the transmission jack down and out of the way. Let me figure this out, and then we'll be back when I get a little bit further along. Yeah, I don't know how this video is going to turn out. It's going to be pretty dry. I mean, changing the transmission out is pretty dry. Pain in the ass, time intensive, but it's not really difficult. Well, mentally it's not difficult. Physically it can be a challenge. Alright, I'm flustered. I got the exhaust hooked up. I got to put the cross member in. Remembered that I forgot to put this big donut over the gear shift. And with the exhaust installed, I can't drop the transmission enough down to get this over it. I don't know what the proper procedure for this is, but this will not fit through the hole inside as far as I can tell. I might try one more time, but it looks like tomorrow I'm going to have to pull the exhaust, drop the transmission down so that I can get this little donut thingy in. Alright, well, it's been about a week since I worked on this. When I got frustrated, I walked away, and then I procrastinated for a little bit because I was frustrated. I'm not a professional mechanic. Don't take this as the only way to do it or even the correct way to do it. But I am to the point now that I've got to get this out because I've got other projects I want to get to, and this one is in the way of a couple of them. So, with that being said, we're going to continue by dropping the exhaust again. Basically, we're going to unbolt the headers, or the manifold. We're going to unbolt the exhaust tubes from the manifolds so that hopefully I can get the ass end of the transmission to drop down enough to put that foam seal back in. The joys of working on a vehicle that someone else worked on before you. Come to find out, I did a little bit more research, and the shifter tower that I'm looking at is not stock. It's a B&M shifter tower. I had a shifter over there. I thought the guy just bought a shifter. I didn't realize that he bought the entire shifter slash head unit, I guess, for the transmission. And part of the problem is this is designed to go over a stock one. So we have to modify this to fit, which means that I have to loosen up the one that I put in there and pull it all out so that I can trim this to fit in there. Yay. Just a reference. Finally got it. So, gonna go like this. The gear shift is presently in gear, and what I'm going to do now is well, I got the transmission lowered down, so I'm finally going to put the transmission back up, try to get the cross member in, and then we're going to start messing with the exhaust. I want to mess with the exhaust after I get the cross member in. Sorry, getting over a cold. So I'm gonna try to get the cross member in now, and then we'll worry about the exhaust. All right, just a little update. I didn't film any of it because it's a pain in the butt. But up in here, right there, I got the exhaust manifold in. I also got the cross member in, as well as the bolts back in the skid plate. So what I got to do now is I need to reattach the exhaust, hang up all the wiring, hitch up the drive shafts. What else I got for parts over there? Oh, take care of the bell housing piece and inner fenders. And then hopefully we'll be ready to see if I did this right and if the Jeep moves under its own power again. Fingers crossed. Well, off camera, took and got the drive shafts in. Got, well, this mirror changed out. Hitched up the battery, did a couple other little, hitched up the battery, did a couple other little odds and ends. And I believe at this point, ready to pull her out of the garage and see what happens. I'm not going to close the video out until I can actually move it. So, let's see how it goes. Alright, well, we're all done. It did pull out of the garage, which is evident by the fact that, hey, we got space again. So, we got a lot more that we're going to be doing to this Jeep. Right now, I need to go ahead and take it over to my sister because as per the instructions for the center force clutch, we need to get 400 to 500 miles of city driving on it before to break in the clutch. So on top of that, I really need to get the fluid circulating through there so that I can do the service. We also have, hiding around the garage, several different parts for it. We have a new top, we have the what do you call it? We have a new top. We have the front diff cover we got to replace. Evap canister relocation, which is actually supposed to go along with the exhaust. We're in cold weather, and she's going to be doing short trips. I'm not worried about it right now. Spare tire carrier, spare tire. We got mods we got to make to the spare tire carrier to make it actually work the way we want. But right now, we got other stuff that we got to get into for the homestead itself. The ducks, we need to move them outside. And in less than 2 weeks, we got more chickens coming, so we need to get ready for those. We got to build an enclosure for the ducks as well as a fence, and yeah, we will get back to Project Cheap Jeep at a later date. But right now, before we get into servicing or continuing the servicing, we need to get some miles on it. So, hope you enjoyed this episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them down below or email us. We prefer to leave them down below, though. But, again, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.